Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video. This is Colin. I'm here with my little puppy dog. Say hello, Freya. Say hello. Look at her. Just a little black void right there. She's saying hello. Hello. I want to play some X Defiant. I decided to do a little bit of some suggestions from last video. Decided to do a little bit different this time, and I just kind of had like a pre-recorded gameplay playing in the background, and we're just going to talk for this one. So this one specifically is about how you classify mistakes. So sometimes, you make this huge mistake and you just think that, oh my gosh, this is what I did with this, just not a great idea, or I can't believe I did this, I can't live this down, or, you get something. In my case, to be honest, it was this little doggy. I thought that I made a mistake when I had gotten her because it was tough, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But they'll turn out to be actually one of the greatest things that's ever happened to you. But you have to be able to own up to it. So, in my case, for example, like I mentioned, Freya, I thought was a mistake when I first got her. I should have let somebody else who was maybe more capable or maybe a better dog owner or something like that. I was thinking that maybe that she should have gone to a different home. Now I'm very glad that that was not the case. That was never the case. At the time, it was just really tough to train her. She was definitely headstrong. She still is. She would go to the bathroom where she's not supposed to, and as much as I don't know if you can really imagine this, but as much as a dog can kind of talk back, she would do it. You're like, no, don't do that. That's a bad dog or whatever. She would just kind of start showing her teeth at you and stuff, and then but then we kind of reached an understanding. As she stopped doing that, she just kind of started accepting, like, oh wait, I'm not supposed to do that. And I just kind of was beating myself up for a long time. I was thinking that maybe I made this mistake, and it is very tough to imagine that this thing, when you're in it, how this thing can become better. But oh man, was I completely wrong? That Freya was probably one of the best things that's happened to me, definitely in my time at school, but probably my whole life. I mean, she's just been such a great companion, and she's always around me. She always wanted to sleep on my feet. I'm on my computer, she's sleeping on my feet or trying to sleep in my lap or hang out, and then wants to play all the time. She's just, a great bud, and that just turned out to be one of the greatest things for me. I mean, she's supportive. I know that when I get home from just a really tough day, then she's there. She's super happy to see me. She just wants to play or cuddle up and watch something and just kind of hang out. And it's just basically made my life so much better. But back then, back when I first got her last year, it definitely did not feel that way. It felt like it may be a mistake, like I've said, and how these mistakes play out. What you think is a mistake plays out. You kind of have to just learn from it and grow from it. I mean, you can make whatever the mistake is, even if it is a real mistake, not just like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have gotten this dog or whatever. But say you messed up and you caused somebody to get hurt, or get their feelings hurt or something like that. And the only way that you can keep going is by learning from it. If you regret it, then that thing that you regret hopefully helps you become a better person, become a better member of society. And it's tough in the moment, especially like when something happens, say you're rude to somebody, or you do like a financial error or something like that. Like there was this one movie that I saw recently. It was okay, but it was called The Beekeeper with Jason Statham. And it was kind of like a traditional Jason Statham movie, kind of actiony kind of thing. A little bit silly, but you kind of know what you're signing up for. And don't get me wrong, though, I love the Jason Statham movies. But this character in it, at the very beginning, what kind of sparks the whole story is that this character is letting Jason Statham stay on her property for whatever reason. They don't really explain it that well. She just is like a really nice lady. And she goes and she gets a phone call from these people that are posing as her bank. It is obviously, a scam. They're showing both sides. They're showing the scammers and her. And so she was in charge of a bunch of different bank accounts for some charities and things. And so she takes this call, and she then goes and does what they're telling her to do, and then they empty out every single account. It's many millions of dollars, and they take millions and millions of dollars from her, and they empty out her account. And in the movie, she takes a drastic measure to make up for that mistake. You know, I know that is a very harsh example and still, you know, like a fictional, but how you keep going from mistakes and how you learn, because at the end of the day, a mistake doesn't define who you are. It's how you keep going after the mistake. So if you know how you want to be perceived, how you want to present to the world, say like you want to be seen as a very kind person, a caring person, a nice person, or whatever. Making a mistake, you know, mistreating somebody, say, or not asking someone how their day is, even though they asked you how your day is, something like that. These whatever the mistake may be, that doesn't define who you are. It's the intentions that you have going out into the world. And so if you truly are, your intentions are truly that you treat people with respect, you are kind to people, you take care of people, you are somebody to look up to, something like that. That's what's really important. You don't just go and say, oh no, you know, I messed this thing up, or the last thing I said to this person wasn't the nicest, or maybe I should have worded that text differently, or you know, I was rude to my parents, or rude to my girlfriend or boyfriend, or whatever it is. You can take these things, and it may feel like it's absolutely crushing, because sometimes the consequences for mistakes are pretty drastic. So like, say you're rude to your boyfriend or girlfriend, and then they break up with you. I mean, that's a pretty drastic thing, and you probably feel horrible. You've taken that on as like, that's something that I've done wrong, and it's a big mistake. But you know, all you can do, you can't really go back, and the only thing you can do is keep going forward. So you can't live in the past. The only thing that the past is supposed to do is help inform you for the future. And I think that's another thing with kind of like self-fulfilling prophecies. I don't know what you all think about that, but when you really think that your past defines who you are right now and forevermore, and that you have no choice but to accept that this is who you are, then that's a faulty way of thinking. I mean, that's just not real life. Your past informs your current decisions. Yes, it informs maybe how people will see you. Yeah, but you can always go on and say, you know, I've made these past decisions, I made these past mistakes, and you can keep going. They don't mean that you have to be this person anymore. And in fact, it may actually inform you on how to be a better person. Because who would want, you know, somebody who hasn't faced adversity? They don't, and then you try to give advice, things like that, or act like you're better than other people or anything like that. People are going to kind of think of you as like a holier than thou sort of person. But if somebody makes a comeback, if they were in a bad spot and they decided that, you know what, I'm making a difference, I'm going to change the way I'm going to be, and they stick to it. They get up every day. They've put themselves towards this goal to be a better person and make up for the mistakes that they made in the past, and just keep going. You know, that's really where the mettle of somebody is made. It's not the mistakes. It's what you do in spite of, what you do afterwards. And even if the mistake is, like I said, even the mistake is huge, you just have to keep going, and you can't just keep reliving that over and over and over again, because eventually you are probably going to be, you're looking so much into the past, you're not going to notice what's going on in front of you or in the future, and you might make the same mistake again over and over and over again, and then that's just going to become like feeding the beast, essentially. You're going to just say, oh, look at me, I'm just such an idiot. Like, I did it again. I did that mistake again. I can't believe myself. I'm so stupid. And then they say it happens again. You're like, oh, there it is. Happened again. I'm such an idiot. Oh man, I'm just such a dumbass. You know, there's just something that you just keep beating yourself up on. You keep piling it up on top of each other, one and one, and blah blah blah. And by doing that, you're doing nothing for yourself or for anyone else. Like, it's just making it worse. So the best way to do it is to accept that you've made the mistake, and you say, I've done this thing and it was bad, but that's not what I want to be known for. That's not who I want my friends to think of me as. That's not if I had passed away today, I don't want that to be what my friends remember me as, or my family remembers me as, or at my funeral, this is what I want them to talk about. No. And most likely, if it's a small mistake, people aren't going to remember it. It's mostly you putting that energy onto it. But if it was a huge mistake, you can basically just own up to it. Own up to it. The people that you wronged, or the people that may have gotten hurt by that mistake, you apologize to. You take ownership. You don't expect them to accept your apology, but you take it and you realize that this is something that I have done, and now I'm going to live with it, but I'm going to do better. I'm going to do something different, and just stick to that goal. Just stick to growing and being a better person. And, one day you're going to look back, you're going to turn around, you're going to see how far you've come, and you can't even see where you started. You can't even see that mistake anymore. And you're going to start feeling better too. And it doesn't even have to be big things that you have to do in order to make up for whatever issues you think you may have caused. You can just start being nicer to people in just every day. Like if you say like the mistake is like you think you're mean to people or something like that, or like you're snappy, and you may say like some sarcastic things, or is just rude to people or something like that, and people get upset. Well, how about maybe today, if you're going out, just say hello and say something nice to somebody, some random person. Just say, hey, I like your shirt, or ask somebody how their day is. And you just start there. You just start with these little baby steps. And that's how you kind of evolve from mistakes, and how the mistakes can actually become the greatest part of your life. Just like in my case with Freya, I thought getting her was a huge mistake. I didn't think I was ready. And I know that, you're never ready for, if it's your first pet, or by yourself. I know you're never really ready. It's the same thing with kids, stuff like that. But you are, and it is not a mistake. And, just going from that and accepting that I just got to work through this. I'm going to keep going every single day. I'm going to just put in my best effort to do whatever it is, do whatever the thing is, and move past whatever you're thinking is a mistake. It will turn out to be something good, because even if it is not as simple as, I may have made a mistake getting this pet, you've made this, you're making improvements. And so that's all anybody could ever ask for, is that you're making improvements on yourself. And honestly, when you make improvements on yourself, you start putting improvements into the world, because you're doing better and you're becoming a better person. You're just actively going to be exuding this better aura around yourself, and making other people feel better, because you're just naturally going to say, how are you? Or I hope your day's gone well. Or you're going to reach out to somebody that looks like they had a bad day, or something, like a friend of yours that may have had a bad day. You're going to be more likely to reach out to them and stuff like that. And so you just take these little tiny baby steps, and don't beat yourself up feeling like, oh, I didn't get to where I want to be, or anything like that, because that's not a mistake either. No one has a guide on where you're supposed to go or how fast it's supposed to be. Everyone has their own timeline. And as long as you're doing your best to keep moving up and putting one foot in front of the other, even if sometimes it feels like you made another mistake and you slid down the slope a little bit, you just keep going. You just keep walking. And, it's going to be okay. You're going to do a good job. You're going to be a good person. And you never know. When you think that something today is your biggest mistake ever, you're probably going to make another one. You're definitely going to make another one. Definitely going to make another big mistake. And that one may feel like it's the biggest one. But at the end of the day, trying to turn that mistake into a good thing, and it might become a great thing about you and a great thing about your life, because it made you want to go on and do new things and be a better person. So that's all I got for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, if you have any questions or anything you kind of want to maybe hear me talk about, or if this made you think, and please comment that down below, and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And I hope you guys have a great day. So I'll see you next time.